Hey detectives, welcome to the crew. I'm Sea Lord Jenda, and this is my Let's Play of Disco Elysium. We are currently investigating the abandoned church at the far side of the map, and the woman who lives here has just showed up, so we're gonna have to talk to her.
Your reading is interrupted by the
hello.
sound of the church door opening. A strange woman makes straight for the radio computer.
What's up, Suna? She's not gonna like that we were reading her logs. Oh well. Oh, she's gonna literally
Breaking into
ignore
my
us.
radio computer, I see.
She glares at you as she holds down the off button for several seconds. Machine reboots.
Yes, you are breaking in, but not into her radio computer. You're a master circuit bender.
I do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
We're not just breaking in, I'm pursuing a lead, searching for my lost
You
identity.
won't find any answers from here.
She barely looks up from the keyboard. You hear the machine whir back to life.
It's just me and my computer, and it has been this way for weeks. Now please give me some room. I need 2 seconds to see that you haven't destroyed anything.
We should talk to her after she has rebooted the machine.
Fair enough. Let me see what's through here then. This giant hole in the wall.
In white, silver, and apricot faience, the young mother of humanism stands above you. A crack runs across her body. She is impossibly tall, oval-faced and sad, a dark and radiant majesty. This is her innocence, Dolores Day.
I see.
Cradled in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs, clearly visible from underneath her flowing dress. You should kneel.
Nah.
Cold wind seeps in from the crack in the glass. Snowdrifts cover the floorboards at your feet. Above, you feel her multicolored eyes on you, inspecting you.
No. I'm not some kind of bug.
As that bitter thought passes through your head, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from shoulder to shoulder with 3 fingers.
Not doing that either.
Good call. She left us all in the shits. Don't give her a single thing. Just stand there in the apricot-colored light of the window, secretly grinding your teeth. The woman smiles her distant smile, unmoved, struck in half by the crack in the glass.
How did I know this is the mother of humanism?
Despite the damage you've done to yourself, the title appears lodged in your hippocampus. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. The innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. Perhaps the most famous human being ever to have lived.
Fair enough.
No amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smile from your brain thing. It has survived the deluge and haunts you still, and will haunt you forever, as it haunts all men.
I see. What exactly is an innocence? I've heard of the system.
The highest category of historic individual, an embodiment of the world spirit.
A ruler?
More, an innocence is elected to office by the founding party, a precedent that has taken place a mere 6 times in the entirety of history. The legal system of the Real Belt is built to accommodate an authentic rule should it coincide with our time. An innocence is infallible. The decisions made by one are not decisions. They are inevitabilities. What would have happened anyway? Only accelerated, packed into decades instead of centuries. An innocence is a continuous, compressed event, a sacred human being. It is an honor and a glory to live when one is in office.
Is one in office now?
No, we are alone.
Okay. When did she rule?
300 years ago, in the wake of the discovery of this Isola, the Insulindian, by explorers from the continent of Muindi. She is, among other things, the innocence of inter-isolary travel and the connected world.
Okay, what else do I know?
Many things. You know she was a woman of the court, the wife of an influential Marchese, and eventually the principal advisor to Irene La Navigateur, Queen of Suresnes, modern-day Sir Laclais. Also that she was gorgeous beyond beauty.
Okay, what else? Was she smart?
Terribly, women of the court were expected to play both contract bridge and chess. sufficiently well to prove an interesting challenge to a man. A simple grasp in matters of philosophy, theology, and science was encouraged. She was, by all means, a kept woman. She made the most of her position in the antediluvian court, a court visited by the most prominent thinkers and artists of the day. In secret, she was becoming the era's preeminent philosopher of the state. A scalpel, a piercing gaze. She was an almost preternaturally magnetic and intelligent individual. To her contemporaries, she appeared out of time, a messenger from the future of the species. We all fell in love with her, head over heels. Even before she was declared an innocence, her influence was tremendous.
Okay.
It was on her advice that Irene Le Navigateur sponsored a number of voyages into the Pale. A costly, often tragic endeavor, ultimately vindicated by the discovery of the new world, the piece of reality you're standing on. She was crowned 2 years after the first expedition returned, setting in motion what is widely considered the greatest era in history. The DeLorean era.
Impressive.
Wow, indeed. When her innocence was declared, and the queen she had advised for years fell on her knees before her, she was so overcome with emotion that her lungs started glowing in her chest. Bystanders reported golden filaments lighting the already sunlit chamber around her, clearly visible beneath her dress. That is why the lungs are the symbol of love for the cultures of the Riel Belt.
Interesting. Anything else?
As did we all. The lands of the Mes and the Occident, and even far away Supremwindi, altogether 21 of the 40 mundial nations of the time, immediately accepted Innocentic rule, even before her crowning. In a city called Advesperaskit in Vesper Messina, her homeland, the name of the city means evening comes, but it happened on a winter's morning, with the canals frozen and slush falling out of the sky. She was dressed in a white and pearl dress on an emptied-out plaza with the crowd far away. Already, her Theriers, the secret servicemen of the Innocents, were worried about an assassination attempt.
She must have been beautiful.
Oh yes, she looked like humanity's young mother, a perfect mother, insultingly beautiful. It was as if her face and shoulders and hands were covered in a soft down of underfeathers. You know this well, very well. Midwinter snow was beating the cobblestones around her. A small attaché of officials stood by as her Theriers placed a white gold wreath on her head. The crowning was mostly witnessed by secret servicemen.
Then
One of the men in this secret service killed her 22 years later. A young man who had come to suspect that Dolores Day was not entirely human, but something else.
what?
Something that had walked in our midst, watching us stumble for hundreds, if not thousands of years, until it decided to interfere in the course of our history. We were supposed to come up with this ourselves, the man was reported to have screamed at the Innocents.
That's a heck of a conspiracy theory.
Dolores Day was shot in the chest with a fowling piece 8 times. The man, thought to be insane, said he once touched her and her body had been unnaturally warm, like a furnace, and that sometimes, while on duty, he observed her forgetting to breathe for over 10 minutes. This inhuman quality was witnessed by many others as well, glowing lungs and all. It is commonly attributed to mass hysteria and religious psychology.
Could be, but it's a heck of a conspiracy theory. Is there something terrifying about her? I mean, that was kind of terrifying.
Terrifying is a term too emotionally charged for your semantic memory, or what remains of it. But although she is often considered to be the greatest human being to ever live, there was something ominous about Dolores Day, constantly surrounded by her Theriers. She was the most socially secluded and least self-aware of all the Innocences. Some modern thinkers would consider her a war criminal for the campaigns she waged against the Mesk state And then there were the resettlement programs.
Oh boy, what happened there?
The Mesk state tried to detach itself from Innocentic rule. Parts of the world were experiencing whiplash from accelerating into secularism. Her mandatory education programs and mass resettlement of upstream Marguerite were problematic as well. Dissenters were suppressed by a military force she called the Army of Humanity, suggesting those who fight against it are not part of humanity.
It sure does, doesn't it?
She adored chess, yes, but also military war games. Dolores Day often holds a tiny tin soldier between her index finger and thumb in icons such as this. She was also blonde, the blondest woman you have ever seen, with
no
green
soldier.
eyes the color of the Pacentic, mare interregnum.
The way we talk, you would think we'd actually seen
Little
her.
is known of her Marchese husband. It's as if he vanished from history after completing his role, which was to introduce Dolores Day to court. In conclusion, yes, there is something lonely, paranoid, and even terrifying that people seldom mention, but feel when they think of her. This subtle terror is part of her iconography.
Lieutenant Yefrater, you've stood there for over 5 minutes.
The lieutenant's calm voice echoes in the cold air of the church.
What are you thinking of, if I may ask?
Don't think she's connected to the case. She's beautiful.
That she is. A great sacral piece. I wonder what we are doing here, however.
He takes his glasses off to clean
In
them.
this church, I mean. The coast in general. We shouldn't linger. This isn't a good place to get lost in.
Pull this off.
A jigsaw of broken shards falls into place in front of you, a ghostly reconstruction of the stained glass window. Before it was shattered, there was an older woman beneath the younger one, and a text, a light motif below them both.
What broke it?
Unknown.
Okay.
A motor carriage, a gunshot, someone falling into it, or maybe just hooligans looking for something to break.
It's the older woman.
The escutcheon on her throne
The
says,
queen.
Irene the Navigator. She is depicted as an older woman wearing thick-rimmed eyeglasses, holding a golden rights apfel in one hand and a scepter in the other. This is the queen her innocence day advised. Above, she herself is whole. Small figures of wise men, common men, worshippers walk up the stairs to stand at her feet. Secret servicemen, 30 years, stand in a row guarding her. It must have taken years to produce this work in all its dizzying detail.
What's the motto?
Below both women, in luminous black letters, Après la vie, mort. Après la mort, la vie de nouveau.
I don't speak French, but I'm pretty sure that says after life, death, after death, new life, or something like that.
And then, along the left side, Après le monde, la gré. Après le gré, le monde de nouveau.
Actually, I don't know what that one means.
After life, death.
Pale.
After
See.
death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This is the great
Interesting.
leitmotif of humanism, a summary of the effect of the discovery of this isola, the insulindian, on human thinking. A tremendous sea change akin to finding life after death. Could these words be the password that unlocks the filament memory?
Lieutenant, this used to say after life, death, after...
Death. Life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This exaltation is common in Dolorian sacralism. In the early years, it was even incorporated as the RCM slogan. No more, however.
It doesn't really have anything to do with policing.
It was deemed subservient to use a strongly moral intern-related motto. We already suspected of bootlicking. The sentence was also seen as too feminine. It was a macho thing.
What's the motto now?
Justice, union, prudence, and force.
Not very feminine.
Not at all.
Alright.
The mother of humanism towers above you. A wax painting
This
on
is
a cracked
Dolores
The
Day.
old woman in the village was right. This must be the DeLorean Church of Humanity in Martinez, or the small Pinewood Church in some records.
You knew the place?
It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it. It was built not long after Revachol's founding, 300 or so years ago, by first-generation settlers.
on the coast of an uninhabited archipelago where only animals had roamed before, in the wild reeds.
What else do you know?
There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast. Les Sept Sœurs, they call them. The 7 Sisters. Only one remains. The rest were burnt in the revolution or used for building materials.
Sounds
We
right.
should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted. I do not believe we'll find anything connected to the lynching here. Something else, perhaps?
He looks at the machinery lying around.
Respectful? Is the lieutenant a follower of DeLoreanism?
Seems clear that he is. He did the gesture thing. Kim, are you a follower of DeLoreanism?
Yes, we all are. Her name, body, and rule are synonymous with humanism. The laws we enforce are DeLorean in origin.
The woman looks by in silence, smiling enigmatically.
I didn't think you were spiritual.
It's not spiritual, it's constitutional. The DeLorean system does not demand faith, only accordance.
Let's see. Anything else? Let's talk to this woman again.
What is it?
Woman is still hunched over by the keyboard, gently illuminated by the purring machine. Didn't break anything, did I?
No, you just printed out my personal log and wasted some paper.
Does not look like a big loss to her. You wouldn't happen to be the lead programmer of Viral Untethered, would you?
Yes. Or, no. Not anymore. That project is dead.
She doesn't seem surprised to be recognized. Rather sad. Something passes over her face before she straightens her back.
So, what are you doing here then?
I am Soona Luukkanen-Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. I have over 16 years of programming experience, and I'm proficient in both Vox and Orbis languages. If you're not here to hire me, I don't really know how I can help you.
She turns back to the terminal.
Did she say over 16 years of experience? She must have started programming when she was still a teenager. That still doesn't answer what she's doing in an abandoned church.
You seen the crab dude?
No?
But you know he's around.
Yes.
Sounds like you're not worried about him much.
No. You're right. I'm not.
Her voice trails off as she bends over to tinker with the machine's printer. What's with all the machines?
I brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything.
What about the pools of water?
They are connected to my RAIN prefect. Whatever you do, just please don't move them, okay? Thanks.
Short and terse. There you have it. Whatever she's using them for, they're hers.
Why do you need an antenna?
I use the AR1 as my RAIN prefect's processing unit.
That's your radio computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
That antenna is its processing unit?
Yes? You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you?
Not really.
Alright. Well, all radio computers perform operations up on air. So in order to gain more processing power, you need to invest in a good antenna.
On air?
On the front, the unified front of radio waves, licensed and controlled by Lintel in the East Insulindic region. It's all around us. That's what on air means.
Like love.
Okay. The AR1, is it a good antenna?
I guess it is. So far I've been quite satisfied with it. Martinez is an unstable region with bad coverage and the operation has been surprisingly stable. But it's not the cheapest one on the market. So I wouldn't recommend it for your regular red tape operations. Fraser 1000 is a foolproof line for civilians. Anyway,
I see.
you should do some research before you decide to buy anything. Ask around, compare the prices. There are many milieus dedicated to that sort of thing.
What you doing with the radio computer?
I'm working.
The
Okay.
machine seems almost alien with its pulsing core. The light casting her face in a strange shadow.
Working on what?
Could you just shh for a moment? Or get to the point? I really need to focus on something.
Isn't the RAIN prefect made exclusively for government use?
So you do know something about computers. You're right. Prefect is used mostly by the government peeps.
So why do you have it?
Because I needed something good for my investigation, and RAIN Civic is widely agreed to be below all standards. So I had to upgrade. Besides, owning a RAIN prefect isn't such a big deal anymore.
No, actually, it is kind of a big deal. You don't see REAM prefects in every police department, for example.
How'd you get your hands on it?
I know a friend of a friend who used to freelance for the Coalition. I was actually aiming for the military-grade RAIN Rational series, but couldn't find one. Prefect is mainly based on the same technology as RAIN Civic, so it's kind of a rip-off. But it does have better compatibility with newer antenna models, so I won't complain.
Okay, I'll try not to
Great.
touch anything. What you doing in this church?
You really like those questions, don't you?
There's a hint of amusement in her tired eyes. Well, I'm a police officer, it's my job.
I'm conducting scientific research here. You can't throw me out.
She says, ready to stand her ground. What research?
I'm looking for the location of a 2mm hole in the world.
Wait, what?
Hole in the world?
She's looking for a disruption in the radio waves. That's what her personal log said. The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything.
Is it connected to the data loss in your journal?
Yes, that's what led me here. But I suspect it might be something a bit more complicated than that.
A hole in the world? What's that mean exactly?
What does it mean? Up to now, it has been impossible to say what it is because it's impossible to measure nothing. What
Sure
do
enough.
you think it is? What qualities does nothing have? How do you measure something that does not exist?
She's suddenly absorbed in the conversation, waiting for your answer.
Easy. You measure it by the world around it.
No, fair enough. Measure it by collecting data on what does exist.
Exactly. Very true. That's what I've been aiming for. That's why I have those basins. I've tried using hydro transducers to record the silence, to find out where it begins.
Hydro transducers. So that's what those water basins are. Devices for recording sound through water.
Interesting.
But honestly, it's not progressing very well.
You have any idea where it might be located?
Somewhere underneath those roof beams, I assume.
She looks up, eyes trying to pierce the pitch black heights above, but without much success.
Only a faint crisscross of rafters can be made out from the dark. Most of the tower disappearing into the shade.
Why there?
There's this place at the back of the church. A place where all audible vibrations seem to decease. I've named it the Swallow. And the higher you go, the less you record.
The Pillar of Silence? Are you sure it's not just an architectural quirk?
Maybe, but it's oddly close to the physical coordinates of the data loss that led me to this place.
That's where the crabman lives.
I know.
You don't think he might be responsible somehow?
No, I don't.
So why's the research not going well?
Because it's just trial and error, trying to locate the Swallow, the exact point in space. And I don't have a... You know what? It would be really helpful if you could just stop talking and let me work.
Yeah, that's all I want to know about the 2mm hole in the world for
Great.
now.
Thanks. The Swallow, you mean? What about it? Great. Thanks.
How do you feel about anodic dance music?
What? I hate it.
Oh,
I bet she hasn't even heard it.
yeah, it just doesn't connect the same way disco does.
Maybe I'd have to be on drugs to get it, but to a sober mind it just sounds like uninspired rug whipping. No idea what it has to do with either dancing or music.
Right, so how do you feel about a club for anodic dance music?
This is about those speed freaks in the tent, isn't it? I've got some news for you. It's not a nightclub they want to build here.
What do they want to build then?
Take a guess, why don't you?
I don't know, man. They said they won't. They said it's their dream to establish a nightclub for anodic dance music.
I can't believe they got you so easily. Go have another talk with those up-and-coming entrepreneurs, will you? Thanks.
Good luck. I'm not coming in there.
Okay, I'll let you work in peace. What do they want then? I mean, sell drugs or something? Wouldn't be that unbelievable, but no evidence for that, really. Should I get more authority? Might be helpful to have more authority. More perception would be nice too. Let's get ourselves a little bit of authority. Wait, hold on. We could also get another thought. I forgot about that somehow. Do I have anything good? You know, I could rigorously self-critique. This causes authority to go down, but maybe in the long run. Finger pistols. Figuring out how to open a door. Let's engage in rigorous self-critique and maybe at the end we'll remember some stuff or something. Or we'll just kill ourselves, who knows. I mean, hopefully not. Okay, so there's nothing else in here, I don't think. I mean, there's no way to just climb up or anything. It's getting late on day 3, but not... I don't have any really obvious leads to follow up now, I don't think. Alright, let's go talk to the musicians again. Talk to her first.
Hello again.
That won't work. What's up, dude?
Hi again. So, how are things going?
About the church, I checked it out.
And? What happened?
Talked to the crab
Oh
man.
man! Who is he? What did you think?
And he gave me a lecture about alcoholism, then rambled on and on about mother's love.
Really? Huh. Interesting. What's he doing in the church?
Just preaching and praying, it seems
No
like.
matter. Is he gonna be a problem? Yeah. Noid is right. Let's get back to the point. What are we gonna do about him?
These guys will never catch him. You will never catch him. There's nothing to do.
I don't know. He'll climb around up there, guys. You're not gonna catch him. But he told me he wouldn't mind the nightclub, so.
I don't know, man. Doesn't it feel like a major hindrance to you? A spooky guy climbing around when all the guests are trying to have nice, friendly hyper time?
Don't worry. I don't think he gives a damn about you or anyone else.
I guess it's not a massive problem, now that I think of it.
But, like, really it would be, but whatever.
Everyone is welcome to dance till the morning light! Yeah!
See, it seems like they want to
Maybe.
dance.
I guess we'll figure something out. Okay, but what about the other spooker? The one in Grandma's clothes? Did you see her?
Yeah, so she's former lead programmer at Fortress
A
Accident.
programmer? That's odd. What was she like? Did you ask her about the nightclub?
She said you guys haven't been completely honest about your plans.
Come on, man. Who will you trust? The spooky programmer or us? We just want to make the world a better place. Feel the love! Get down and feel it!
Stuffy Tent muffles the last 2 words. The command
A
fails to
half-hearted
impress.
sell of something which does not seem worth buying.
Sure, maybe I'm
You'll
kind of
get
feeling
there,
it.
believe me. When we've got our gear set up, things will be flowing and pumping. Anyway, now that it's settled, how did she seem? I mean, disposition-wise, about the dance club idea. Yeah, Oda 9. Rocking it or dropping it?
She did not like the Anodic Dance Club idea.
What a pity! That's my favourite thing in the world! And she doesn't like it at all!
A shame. What can we do now? Do you see a way out of this jam? And into a laser-lit future of dance and unity? Unity! Dance!
Apparently she won't leave it till her own project's
And you
finished.
can't just evict her?
I think we need to come up with a different solution.
Look at you, Honour Man!
No, Noid. He's right. Maybe we've approached it the wrong way after all. I'm sure there's a workaround. We can make a deal not to bother her. If that's okay with her, we only want to get in the church and spread the joy and ecstasy of music. The lines in the dark exist. Coexist.
At least Crabman seems like an advanced being. He's hard. He'll understand.
Yeah, he can do his climbing thing in the tower. And the programmer, does she like anodic dance music?
She does not.
Egghead cannot believe what she just said. It makes him pump the jam a little slower for a moment, but then he returns to the full swing of it.
No worries. We'll figure it out. If coexisting fails, you can always muscle her out, right? If it's all okay with you, what do you think?
I'm not gonna throw her out, but I'll try convincing her.
Excellent. Good luck, my friend.
So I know Noid does his signs. What's Egghead's deal?
He's a quiet man, mostly communicates through music, and by being a master of ceremonies.
What is that?
You know, a host, a declaimer of slogans. He's a performer, gets the people going.
Interesting, sire. A bit like you, then. An MC for short.
So how do you communicate with him?
Well, he's just kind of here. I don't really know how to communicate with him.
Have you ever really talked to
Yeah,
him?
sometimes. When I stumble and find my way into his centre, you have to hear a lot of hardcore to the mega first though.
The man smiles mysteriously, choosing to let the beat speak for itself. I get it. He's a puzzle.
Okay. Well, let's take a shot at this, eh?
A number of things don't add up. Let's take a
logic.
How about gather around, kids?
Okay, kids, gather
The
around.
young speed freak puts down a busted capacitor and looks at you. The one with the large head seems very enthusiastic about whatever you have planned. Their would-be leader is less amused.
Sometime in the past, I'm not sure when and where, but betrayal was involved. I fell sick and became the shadow you see now. But before that, I have reason to believe I was a police detective.
But you still are.
And I was good enough to be awarded the rank of Lieutenant Yefreiter. I could have been captain, imagine that.
What happened?
Oh, life tore me a new asshole, Egghead.
That's a real downer.
Now obviously that might as well have been 1,000 years ago, but there's still some detective left in
The
me.
young speed freak is silent.
This is a tent full of laboratory equipment for manufacturing drugs, Andre.
I have no idea how you arrived at that conclusion, but it's wrong. Look, we even have speakers.
He points at the speaker.
One speaker. They have one speaker.
You have a speaker. You have no headphones. Isn't a seal gonna need her headphones to spin tape?
What do you know about spinning tape? Nothing.
Well, I know you pawned them for lab equipment and drug
I'm
ingredients.
sorry, but there is no lab equipment and no drug ingredients.
Yeah, that nose of Ed. Active ingredient, useful in drugs.
He said it was for his nose. What more do you want?
Likely pseudoephedrine. Almost exactly the shape of ephedrine. Ephedrine makes you happy, and so does pseudoephedrine.
Distilled water, cornerstone of a
They're
clean
all
lab.
cellular-based life. What's your point, Lawbringer?
I don't actually understand this question. What friend?
What do you mean, friend?
Oh, the other speaker. He only
It's a
have one.
one-speaker system. It's monodynamic. You wouldn't know the first thing about sound reproduction in anodic music. Other speaker.
Monodynamic, huh?
This may be the brain damage talking, but you've definitely never heard of monodynamic or one-speaker systems.
Yeah, I don't think so. Do I really need to pile on more, guys?
No shit.
You're sober. Was it hard for you to keep sober for this
We
meeting?
don't need drugs to be hardcore.
I
Shut the
kind of
fuck
believe
up,
it to be Egghead. I think you need drugs to get through the days when you're not expecting me.
Climb down from the equestrian monument, cop man. Consciousness is new to the universe. We all have our ways to ease the shock.
Yeah, bottom line is I
What
see what
exactly
you're
is
doing
it
here.
you know?
Well, in short, you're trying to use a police detective to intimidate people into letting you set up a drug lab.
That's... Come on, that's...
Punishable by summary execution. Against the law?
I meant to say, not true.
So what are we gonna do with you now?
What do you mean, do?
There's resignation in his voice. He's almost ready to drop the act. It wouldn't take a lot of pushing.
How about you tell me what's really going on and we'll work from there. I can be lenient.
What do you mean by lenient?
Not calling backup and hauling you all off to the pen, for starters.
Okay, man, okay.
He raises his
Things
hands.
are just so hard for an entrepreneur in this city right now. It's not like we lied when we said we want to turn a church into the wickedest club in East Revershoal.
Because we do! We totally do!
We just need to turn it into a speed lab before.
Doesn't sound great,
To
Andre.
get our foot in the door.
And why'd you need me?
Like I told you, spooky arseholes moved in while I was getting all this stuff together. A month ago, the place was empty, and now it's all spooked up.
Not really all that spooky, are they, Andre?
No, man. They're spooky, all right. It's just that they would also probably call the police if we started cooking speed in there.
Yeah, probably.
But the sign was way off too. I couldn't feel the love at all.
No, I don't think they
Sir,
love that
You
much.
promised you'd be lenient.
Can we just make a club for erotic dance music? I don't even hate these guys, but like, come on. I should arrest them, to be honest.
Yeah!
The young man's smile widens to inhuman proportions. His teeth beam in the floodlight.
I knew it.
Would-be leader drops his spiked head between his
It's
knees.
impossible now.
No, Andre, it's harder now. This hard cop has come to show us how much the fish is, and the fish is always so much more. We all know there was never going to be a club for erotic music with the Speed Lab. Now it has a fighting chance.
Is that about a fish?
There needs to be a club for erotic music in there. Needs to. Everyone hates each other. Everybody hates it here. It's all just drugs and we're slaves and I can't. We are running out of time. We need a win, Andre. I promise this will be a win. We won't cook speed in there. We'll do it clean. We'll do it true. We'll do it sober and real and beautiful. This will be a victory for the light.
This will be nothing. You can hear the ice crack underneath you. Outside, the last century waterfront development is crumbling in the wind, a grape-shot row of falling houses. And so is Rue de Saint-Jérôme and all the houses on Main Row. The old cinema is sinking underneath Villa La Bosse.
Anybody feel that?
What?
Alright, nothing. Let's call this crime prevention. But I have my eye on you.
Okay. We'll try to do it without the drugs.
He raises his head from beneath his
We'll
knees.
do a straight club up in there, spinning the maddest reels, and nothing but. I swear to God. Okay, Egg?
From here on, it'll be straight all the way.
Goodbye,
Okay,
officer.
that's it for now. I'm gonna have to come back and check on them and find out if they're making speed later. Is the ice about to break into these idiots?
Hello again.
Well, Estelle, your associates tried to use me to set up a drug lab. I'm guessing you knew about this?
I did, and I'm sorry. For what it's worth, which isn't much.
This is why I didn't go into the tent. Typical delinquency.
You don't get to choose your posse, they choose you. Mine are idiots, but they're mine. I tried to talk Andre out of it. I even tried not to lie to you.
Indeed, she merely tried to omit the truth instead.
Instead, you opted to omit the truth. It's kind of the same thing.
I know, but I knew you'd see through their plan too. I'm not an idiot. I should have been able to control them, and I will in the future. I promise. May I ask, what did you tell them?
I'm a nice guy, so I told them they can build a dance lab, but if I find a drug lab here when I come back tomorrow, I'm arresting you all.
Thank you. I'll get them under wraps, I promise.
Clearly not passing the empathy check. Okay, what do we have left in terms of journal? Thanks for watching, detectives. New parts will be up every other day, or you can watch live on Twitch. If you did enjoy, consider leaving a like and subscribing. And have a nice day, detectives. This is Sea Lord Jenda, signing off.